Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it, and them is safe. Sing! I wake up in the morning, and I know I must not be sorrowing and mourning. Cause many did go to bed last night, and before the morning, the dust them bites. I cried, I had no shoes, until a man with no legs came to borrow my farm tools. In all things give thanks unto the name of the Most High, and be relieved with a gentle sigh. Aile, aile, aile. Unto your name we speak, aile. Sure. Aile, aile, aile. Aile, aile, aile. Sure. Aile, aile, aile. ISIS, I still remember how my enemies dug for me a deadly pit, and by your mighty hand you delivered me with a lift. The broken parts you love to bring together in a perfect fix. In the shadow of the Almighty, how can I ever be in a fix? They marked me for death, but like the Passover, you gave me...
Yes, hello, and welcome to the Post Africa Day Talk Forum. Of course, it is that, we have a host of speakers here with us, highlighted on our screen as well. Ras Jabalani, and you want to say hello, Ras Jabalani?
Rastafari greetings.
Yes. Of course, we have Lady B Bless as well representing.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning.
Of course, Kojo Kombolo.
Yeah, divine greetings, everybody. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes. And for myself, I'm here. Our other three speakers are going to be joining within the hour as well. So in terms of this Post-Africa Day Talk Forum, we wanted to talk about Africa Day as well as the Year of Education, which is a theme for this year as well. And just a remembrance, because I think that's when we talk about Africa Day each year, it comes and it goes. And so the theme that's there, we find that individuals don't even focus on what the theme was for that year. It's kind of like an artist releasing I put it in context where it's kind of like an artist who releases his album and he only pays attention to the first week or the first day that the album comes out, and then nothing else is done after that. So it's just to, to jog as well the public's memory, and to give insights as well, because as I also we're doing Africa Day event stuff as well. There were persons from Africa who never heard about Africa Day before. There and also outside of Africa as well. They never heard of Africa Day, didn't know what it's about. So for persons who are listening who have no idea about what Africa Day is all about as well. There are celebrations that are done every year on May 25th that is crowned the Africa Day itself. That includes reciting the annual commemorations of Africa's independence, its freedom and liberation strife from colonial imperialists. If there are any of my speakers that would like to say anything based on Africa Day and what it means to them, you guys can go ahead. Any one of you guys.
Okay, thanks. I'll go first. I'm Lady B. Bless. I'm the executive director of the Lady B. Bless Humanitarian Foundation. And for the last 2 to 3 years, our focus has been education. So being that Africa Day is centered around education, it means a lot to me that the AEU is taking its time out to focus on education. So that means a lot to me that the theme for this year is centered around education. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes, the theme itself just plays into the importance of what happens the doings or the things that's happening on the continent as well. Which again, this year's Africa Day 2024, it explored the Year of Education theme. And the urgency stems from the global education crisis that has been echoed by African leaders, not just by African leaders, but also UN representatives as well, and partners who have emphasized the need for, a collective commitment to address education challenges that exist on the continent. So what I will ask for instance, for Elder Ras Jabulani, as we talk about education itself, and you are in between various countries, I know for myself, you travel between Zimbabwe and South Africa from time to time. But have you realized before Africa Day that there was actually this huge emergence in terms of the total, it's a high total amount of kids that have been on the continent that's actually are out of school? We're talking about close to 100 million.
Yes, well, when we look at, all right, let's look at Africa Day in itself. And when we talk of education, Africa Day, Africa Liberation Day, most of the countries that you would think that most of the countries on the continent would celebrate Africa Day, but it is not so. Mainly because we're still under colonization. We have so-called political independence, but where we don't have economical independence, it will show one of the main reasons why you would find that nearly 2/3 of the real population of Africa don't have the kind of education that we're really talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because economic marginalization, which keeps most of the families and youth in a situation where they cannot afford to send their children to school. it's not like in certain countries in the West where school is being subsidized, education is being subsidized, and certain countries it is if you don't send your children to school, then you can get jail or get a fine.
Yes.
So therefore, you'll see that a lot of it is actually deprivation, which is causing this high numbers of uneducation in this form and money.
Thank you for that. When we went ahead and we had an opportunity where there's that for this year, I produced that Africa Day film based on the education piece. And of course, it is that, as Lady B stressed, that's her avenue. And she spent no time in terms of like the material and stuff like that to get it done. But I think even for herself, it was quite alarming. The rate and the emergence and the amount of kids that are out of school. So she, as she said, she actually work and do different works across Africa as well. But for Lady B, there are certain things that we looked at within the film itself, and that we stressed in terms of creating a conducive environment for children to attend school. And one of the main things that we looked at was for the government to invest in education. But aside from that, the simple things just like the school feeding programs and enhancing healthcare in school. Do you actually think when it comes to government, if it should be a priority to work with NGOs outside of Africa for this, apart from the government? Because when we talk about government, sometimes we hear in Africa it's like, okay, we do not really want to go to them because nothing is going to get resolved. But one of the things that I promote from my end is actually there are NGOs here in the US that will be able to assist in that regard. Is that something that you recommend for persons who are interested in helping out to ensure that these kids are going to school by seeking help from the NGOs or assistance?
Okay, I'm an NGO. I'm a nonprofit. I'm in the U.S. and I'm also stationed in Ghana, and I work in Nigeria and Cameroon and Sierra Leone. And according to what I see, only Africa can solve Africa's educational problem. It's not. We have given the help that Africa receives is half of what the help that the NGOs around the world are given. So really, it is up to Africa to solve its own educational issues. And it has nothing to do with NGOs helping. It has restructuring of the educational system needs to happen within Africa. And I can only speak for West-Saharan Africa because that's where I work. So they need to really look within themselves and restructure their educational system. And like you say, they need to provide, the government needs to increase the investment in education. They're not investing in education. Education should be the number one priority of every government. No matter where you are around the world, the education of your citizens should be your number one a priority. So if they leave the education out to the NGOs, we're just going to be going backwards. So I strongly believe that they need to come up with programs within their countries to restructure the educational system.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you. As we talk about the education piece as well, Kojo, yourself, in terms of the education piece, is that you are a DJ for one of the colleges, or you have a program there as well within the colleges. Now, when I did my the whole entire film itself, I didn't just concentrate on kids, but I think it's something that's missing. I concentrated on the adult part of that, the CCI, the cultural and creative industry. And for yourself, Kojo, you are actually along that field where it is that, of course, those persons that are going to college, they are of adult age. Do you agree that? Do you agree that for the adult section, is that okay? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing. I'm not sure who is.
Yeah. Sorry, you were breaking here.
No, someone is not sure what's going on in the background. Yes, but do you agree that for the education piece itself, that there needs to be a cultural and creative side that's created to help resolve the issues that's going on at that end?
Okay. Bless. I love this vibes. And there is one thing we're missing out here. As an Africans, we believe in word, sound, and power. And then before it was OAU, Organization of African Unity.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've taken the organization from there. And now it's African Union. That is why everybody can join and we can have other influences from the Western world.
Lady B, just a second. Lady B, can you mute for a second? I'm getting feedback from Lady B. Okay, good.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, can you okay, go ahead, Kojo. I was hearing something. Go ahead.
Okay, so right now talking about the education with the college, I've been in the creative art industry. Let me say, when we're talking about growth and enhancement,
mm-hmm.
and you can't talk about growth without maturity. You can't talk about growth without improvement. You can't talk about growth without expansion. And when we talk about intellectual growing, then you must know it comes with confidence and securing physical and mental health. First of all, the curriculum we practice or the curriculum in the schools, most of them were brought to us like we borrowed it. So most of the youth grow up and don't even know their African roots. Right now, most of the, let me say, the African studies is being taken out of the curriculum from the schools. And in the university, there are enough things that people go and study about African history. But when you ask them even about Africa, they don't even know. There is nothing to brag or there is nothing to tell you. Because I once interviewed a professor from England, and I asked him, how do you feel when some of the lecturers cannot even speak the truth because it's not in the curriculum? And he said, no, he finds a way to teach them. So in that case, moral education is the basis. So I being on radio, that's what I normally do, because I've realized what they teach them in school is different from what they're supposed to know. That's why we said we're talking about education right now. But then this year, how many universities or how many students even celebrated African Union Day?
Yeah, because that was a concern for me when I told persons about it. Some persons did not know what Africa Day is, and they weren't did not know exactly what it's about or realize that every year there's a new theme and the focus on the theme. And then for myself, I find that persons focus on the theme the day of Africa Day, but after Africa Day is done, it's like, where do you go from there?
Because it's fading out. Before Africa Day, we celebrate it throughout the month. There will be programs out there, programs lined up for kids, for the elders, for people, for the less privileged, but we don't see them anymore. You see, and the creative arts sector is not also talking about it. Why? Because it's coming from the head. It's just like a pyramid order. Until we start to do our own, that's why I like what you're doing. Organize and educate the people. Because let me tell you, I'm at the university, but they are not teaching them what they're supposed to know about Africa. That's why we finished the college and everybody wants to move out of the country. Because the knowledge to build ourselves is not there.
Good point. Excellent point. Oh, that resonates. I love it.
Yeah. So
to me, I think being a radio presenter, that's why I play a lot of conscious songs, because the impact is the most important thing. What you feed the people every day. So I have so many ways of bringing. I don't only play. I play reggae, but I bring other people to tackle issues. You know, we have the African Study College there. We have people doing African studies, but even to get them on radio to talk about Africa is one problem, because when you speak the truth, the system fights you. So those who even know the truth to teach them are even afraid to come and talk.
Well,
so we have yeah.
No, the key word that you have said, it's the system that we are looking that really is the main problem. The system that controls, right? Mm-hmm. Education basically, if you can't afford to pay for the education that is really going to give you the kind of intellectual value and properties that you can use, then the education that is given is mainly to prepare ones to go for a job, right? And after that job, they have no mind to do anything else. They are educated to take instruction, not even to learn to teach. And because remember, the system only teach you it by degree. So they're not open to teach, especially about making you know about who you truly are, where your roots is, why, what is your purpose in life, right? And how you're going, because you see, education, knowledge is power. And they don't want to empower the people. That is the main problem.
Because the educational system is still under the colonial education system that was fed to the people. So since colonialization, the education system really has not changed. So you're absolutely correct. They're just teaching them basic education just to get through, to then leave the country. They're not teaching themselves to upbuild themselves or upbuild the country. And that is the problem. It's a systematic problem.
In terms of the, we'll say like young age all the way up to high school, I have just put some stats on the screen itself, where over 1/5 of children between the ages of 6 and 11 are out of school, followed by 1/3 of youth between the ages of 12 and 14. And according to the UIS, almost 60% of youth between the ages of 16 and 17 are not in school as well. In terms of resolving the issue, I mean, we have said so many things as well. So there is not one thing, but there's different things that needs to be done. I think one of the focus is that their main focus was focusing on STEM education. But beyond focusing on STEM education itself, you guys have made some strong points in terms of what the particular issue is, which it gets to be a bigger problem if the underlying is not resolved, or nobody's looking to resolve the underlying issues as well. We talk about increasing government investment in education, which needs to happen. Governments in Africa, including those in West Africa, should prioritize education, as Lady B placed on the screen as well. Now, as it pertains to implement school feeding program, which is school feeding programs can help to ensure that children receive at least nutritious meals per day. But I am myself wondering, is like some of the kids are not going to school because it is that they don't have any meals to go to school, or when they go to school they don't have access to meals. So how does it work in Ghana, for instance, Kojo? When the kids go to school, are the school providing school lunches for them, or it is that they have to bring their own lunch, and this is one of the reasons why they are not going to school?
Okay, to me, I think it's not about the school feeding program though. And some of the schools, you go with your own food. We have the international school and we have the government school. We are like the private schools and the government schools. And some of the government school, they give them the feed. They have the feeding fee program. But to me, I don't even support the school feeding program. Truly speaking, we don't grow our own food in the first place. And most of the food that they feeding the youth on is genetically modified food. So at the end of the day, they are not building the brains of the youth. They are rather destroying the brains of the youth.
But a hungry child cannot learn. So they have to have a feed program for the children. And a lot of parents cannot afford to send food daily with the children. If the brain is not fed on some sort of nutrition, the child would not grow. Malnutrition is rampant in sub-Saharan Africa. So we have to talk about feeding the children in school. It is just, we just cannot send them to school and not talk about feeding them in school.
You have a point.
Well, then that means, you see, you would have to be, once you're looking at some of the government schools get certain assistance from certain NGOs and so forth. Some of the church-owned schools will have these kind of programs, yes, but as Virgin is saying, right? When we look at, fine, you might be giving them the food, but do the schools have the facilities to teach the youth how to grow their own food, how to even assist them to be able to grow food within their communities so that they are helping to supplement themselves? Because really and truly, it's not about just the ABC 1, 2, 3. It's about basic life skills that they should be learning even from within their homes before they get to school. When we look at how things are going on now, a lot of the youths don't even have a good home environment to live in. So you'll find that there is a lot of them dropping out because they can't even afford to one, get to school, have school uniform, pay the school fees, look after themselves, their parents, broken families. There's a lot of things that factor into these numbers. You see what I'm saying? And now that we're having the AI technology and so forth, a lot of government schools, even I've noticed what a lot of government schools on the continent are actually closing down. And it's private schools that are coming up. A lot of them owned by various churches, but the fees are very exorbitant. So you still will have that, it comes again to the economic marginalization, and only the few And again, the ones who get the best education are the chosen few.
Hmm. You know, in 2022, I the focus was on nutrition, and I did a film based on the theme nutrition, and also I interviewed someone from a friend of mine from Ghana, and what his concern was that the farmers who grow the natural food, for instance, say they grow a banana or a yam and they're selling it for $3. Then China would do their homework and find out that, okay, the local farmer is selling this for $3. And then China would then slash the price in like a half or just over a half by saying, okay, well, I can get you this for $2, but then it's GMO laced. And so the person, the people cannot do not have the money to spend to buy the food, so they're heading towards the cheaper costs, not recognizing that, okay, you're paying a little bit more, but it's actually healthy for you. When you go the route in terms of what China is doing, you end up in the hospital. You end up with different things going on because your body is eating something that's not, you know, good for it. So, I mean, when we talk about nutrition, it's a long ball game as it pertains to forces that are not from Africa. That's actually importing food into the country. That's not actually good for the masses. So how how can you possibly that possibly resolve as well? It goes back to government, because I think if government creates programs that the farmers will help them, to create their own food instead of accepting some of the goods that's coming in. And I think that we cannot, government can also put um, yeah, a stoppage onto the materials that comes into the country to ensure that it's actually great. You're selling it for a cheaper price, at least make it, you know, a certain way. So what do you guys think in terms of the nutrition itself? I heard you guys in terms of the nutrition, but in terms of like China, who is importing goods, that's not great for the kids, are selling it at a lower rate. Again, it goes to, for myself, I think it goes back to government.
Okay, in Ghana, let me tell you something. When I was in the college, let me say the senior high, when the professor or the teacher wants to punish you, they ask you to go and weed. Okay, so growing up, some of the youth them even be farming or weeding as punishment. So now people don't love to farm, and the reason why we face all these problems, we sometimes, yes, we blame it on the system, the government. But before the governmental system, before the system we practicing now came, we had our chiefs controlling, and they make decisions. When the farmers get the food, before the food reaches the city, sometimes the food even spoils on the road because of we have bad roads, the highways are not good, no transport for them to even export the food. That's why we face all these problems. And before NGOs will come in and try to help, but at the end of the day, most of them have their ulterior motive. So to me, talking about nutrition, we should grow our own food. We should have backyard farming. We should teach the youth them how to grow our own food, because that was done gone are the days. And that was when people even do barter trade. They trade with food. You have yam, I have this. The government will try, but at the end of the day, the government wants to make money. So no matter how we talk, they won't listen. Just last 2 weeks, they brought genetically modified corn from outside world to Ghana. They have 8 different types, and they have 8 different kind of soya bean. I was on radio. I spoke about it. But the following week, the biosafety authorities approve different okra from where we don't know. So at the end of the day, no matter how you fight it, They will still do it because their country is a system ruling. But we can start by growing our own food. Don't forget, you are what you eat, and you grow what you eat. Until we stop seeing farming as punishment and farming as something that can enhance, because talking about growth, mentally, physically, is very important. When you're not healthy, you can do anything. We can't even build Africa when we're not healthy. The Chinese man, we've tried. It's very hard to stop them. So the best way I think we can do is to grow our own food.
I fully agree with you. Education it's how for self-survival and how we used to be communally surviving and living on that level. Now, the type of education that is getting, it educates us away from even family, community, right? Everyone is for self. The lockdown even brought ones into becoming even recluse and so forth. You find ones are now with their cell phones and so forth. You have a child now more interested in their cell phone than even looking at any form of educational program which might be online. They would rather be on TikTok or WhatsApp and so forth. So it's how we influence the child to want to learn, want to have that education, right? What is the incentive after they get? Because again, when we look at if we are teaching them just to go to work for someone, whilst there are no jobs that are there on the market, when you have so many youths graduating from school, from universities, from even skills training college, with that mindset that they're going to get a job and not going to make a business or set up something even collectively with their fellow students to create a business or so. These things are not being encouraged. You see what I'm saying? So we need to really look at what is the education system really about and how does it truly benefit the youths and even adults coming up.
Interestingly, as you talk about, it spills over to the adult side of saying, okay, well, these kids are not going to school, but at some point they're going to be adults and they're no longer fall into the curriculum that they should be in because they never attended school. So now we look to the CCI industry, which is the cultural and creative industry. And as for myself, as I look into looking at the staggering issue of nearly 100 million out of school children and youth across Africa, there's no way that Africa can keep on neglecting the cultural and creative industry. Of course, the cultural and creative industry is, embraced in the USA, it's embraced in the UK, it's embraced in Europe. The places that is not embraced is within Africa. There's maybe about 2 countries that are actually embracing the cultural creative industry. And Africa has this huge percentage of the cultural and creative industry there. But it is not embraced. It is not embraced in Africa, it's not embraced in the Caribbean or Latin America. And the key issue for that is the deception that happens within government as well, and the persons that are, control the forces. But the cultural creative industry is actually should not be left out, and it should be embraced in Africa as well. When we talk about, go ahead.
The culture industry, I think it's a parental mindset. every parent in Africa wants their child to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. Same as in the Caribbean. I'm Caribbean. That's how we raised. Oh, you'll be a doctor, you'll be an engineer. They have this mindset, which was given to them by, of course, colonization, that these are the career for their children. This is how their children will become something. So if we were to work on that parental mindset that allow your child to be who they want, like, you know, in the US, it's like, let your child be, if you see them want to be a singer, encourage them to be a singer. If you see them want to be a dancer, encourage them to be a dancer. If they want to flip and do trampoline for the rest of their lives, encourage them to do that. We don't have that mindset in Africa. We don't have that mindset in Caribbean because it is not what the parents want for their children. So that's another aspect of education. It's like, we have to educate the parents, we have to educate the children. So a lot of things stems from colonization and the mindset that is now going through Africa, going through the Caribbean. You see, so it calls for a lot of re-education and relearning as African people.
Yep. And even within the CCI itself, there is, you know, the means to unleash the full potential of the sector as well. There are so many issues. There are a few issues that, you know, can be addressed within there as well, such as the high rate of inconsistent skills gaps. And for instance, like with musicians, there are musicians who they make music, but they do not know the industry. They do not know, like, you know, what a PRO is. They do not know a publishing is. They're just making music just to make music. And the diversity and the inclusion is so important in terms of advancement and ensuring that close to 100 million kids are not just there. So the CCI cannot be left out. The CCI is actually made up of 11 sectors as well. And I'm sorry, but as I run them off, I can run some of them off where it is that you're like, okay, Africa has that. When we are talking about the performing arts, Africa. When we're talking about TV and radio, Africa. When we're talking about music, Africa. Design, film, advertising, there is so much to go around. But the CCI industry is really, should not be left out there, because it's actually is important just as the 100 million kids that are not going to school. If the CCI is improved, then I'm thinking the education piece is going to improve, because just as Lady V says, everybody's not meant for college, right? And there are people out here that's taking people money over here that's sending their kids to school because to college because, oh, I want you to go to college. I want you to go to college and get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you listen to the child and have an idea, you're growing your child and you have an idea like, okay, you know what? It appears that they will be better at a skill position. There's nothing wrong with that as well. The CCI adopts persons who have degrees and persons who do not have degrees. And within the CCI itself, you have your son or your daughter that could decide that, you know what, I want to go the CCI route and somewhere into adulthood, because we know that some persons do not get it at 18 years old. And when we're talking about young men, some of them are still not grown at 50 years old. They're still trying to figure shit out. So if you approach the CCI and then later on in life you realize, you know what? I think now it's time for me to go to college. So this thing where it is that you have your Caribbean persons and you have your African parents that are instilling in their kids that I want you to go to school to be a doctor. And some of them do not even get very far. Even within the US, it is that you'll have parents that are pushing their kids to go do this and do that, whatever. There is the CCI, which I strongly believe in. And it's not just that you eliminate education, because within the CCI itself, it is not all about college and university, which is the norm as well. You are also able to take classes. You are also able to go back to school and be able to get a degree. So it's not like you're getting rid of it, but it's an extension. You know, if the child does not want to go to college as yet, or if they're unsure, or if the parents, for instance, do not have that money, you know, that Uncle Sam is over here coming for every day as well.
Every day.
Every day, that is.
Student loan debt. Yeah. Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that for a lot of the big companies are now hiring skill-based workers instead of degree-based workers. We look at some of the big hiring companies, they don't want your degree, they want your skill. So it's a skill set moving forward with the AI and the technology. And when we talk about STEM, there's no resources in half of Africa to even say we are having STEM for our students. There's no resources. There's no STEM resources. So for the AU to say, oh, we're going to concentrate on STEM, where are you putting the resources? Where are we going to get the resources to put in these schools? I have donated computers to schools in Ghana where the students were like so fascinated. It's like the first time they've seen a computer. And this is 2022. They need to do better. They need to do better. Parents need to do better. We all need to do better when it comes to educating our children. I have two boys. One went to university. He has a $58,000 college debt. One is just skill-based, and he's doing what he loves. He loves computers. When I saw that he loves computers, I said, take technical skill classes in it. He did on-the-job training. We have to encourage our children. One has a lot of debt and one don't. But the one that went to university, 3 to 4 university, he has a lot of debt, and that bogs him down. You see, so we have to train our children so they could have a good lifestyle, so they don't be bogged down. So education starts from the birth, and it starts in home. We cannot always say, oh, the school is going to do this. We as parents also have to teach financial literacy. Like the brother said from Zimbabwe, we have to teach our children how to survive. Once they graduate, what now? How are they going to survive on their own? So we have to start doing it in home too. We need to have partnerships with the parents. We need to have community involvement. Why can't the community get involved and say, okay, this is a community garden. This is for the school lunches. Why can't the community get together and say, okay, we want to feed the school? A lot of the schools are in the rural areas, unless they're in the big city. But in the rural areas, they need to get together as a community and build a garden and say, hey, we're going to educate our children, but also we want to feed the children. Let's get together. You come here, you plant this, and you plant that. Go back to what the brother from Ghana is saying. Farming is so important. If without farming, we won't survive. Yeah. So these things, we need to come together. Community and the parents need to get together and start doing this. We need to start working as a village. It takes a village to raise a child. We still need to be on that concept.
Let me use myself as an example here. You know, when I was going to college, I was going to do general, like I studied general. Then my mom was saying, no, you have to do science. So the teachers were like, no, he is very good with that. He said, no, because general he's going to put himself in it. He wants to be an entertainer. So I'm not going to allow him to do that. Well, here am I today. I'm still in the entertainment industry. So these are some of the things, you know, it backs down to the parents. And aside that too, the entertainment industry, the creative art industry, as we're saying, we are not telling our story. That's why the world is not embracing it. Because if the government doesn't do it for us, we can do it when we start to tell our story. For instance, now, when you, as our elder said, when you look at TikTok, Facebook, everything, we are embracing the foreign culture than telling our story. Because we're supposed to educate people through the creative art sector. That is the main key. So when the parents also don't find it interesting or appealing, sometimes, you know, they stop the children from even, let me say, okay, let me find a word right way. Anyway, they stop the children from achieving their goals. In Ghana, one factor is when you follow the entertainment industry, they kick you out from school. Sometimes your parents even disown you. I know people that were sacked from home because they choose music, or they want to do dance, they want to be a producer, they want to be an engineer. Right now, they realize it's the entertainment industry is making money. So everybody wants to rush into the creative arts sector. That's why if they are trying to, push their kids. But meanwhile, they've taken some of the subjects, let me say music, in most of the schools that people don't know. Most of the schools are not studying music. The creative arts is even taken out. They've taken out a lot of subjects. And the one they are studying now, most of them, it won't benefit the children. So we have to start telling our story. How Africa, how we started. Even the farming, we can tell the story about farming, story about everything we want to do, building, development. Right now, let me say, as our mother said, they need tools to learn. E-learning, authoring tools, courses, creation, and learning tracks, personalized training programs. We don't even have them. Training tracking softwares, we don't have them. Websites, workshop, we don't have them. Online learning platforms, we don't have them.
So it goes back to what Lady B says in terms of the STEM and the AU's focus on STEM. And, and which also highlights what I say in terms of the CCI. The CCI includes a relative amount of creatives who are graduates and some that are not, but are very brilliant within their field, because let's face it, not everybody is meant for college. And so when we look at education in some of the CCI sectors, it's not only possible through traditional models or institutions like universities and colleges. There are a number of organizations who are doing great educational work actually across the continent. However, as I said before, there exists numerous challenges, and there's so many different avenues. As we say in Jamaica, there's so many different ways to skin a cat. There's so much different ways to get there. But I see where the CCI makes so much sense, because again, you have persons who actually go to school for a degree, and by they leave, they do not want to use that degree, or they don't have any use for that degree. Now it is that they want to concentrate on something else. So why not make the CCI more operable, where it is that even if you're 40 years old and you decide that now I want to go get a degree, now you can, because now that's the field that you really belong in, rather than keep forcing the kids that you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer. And yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
True. But like we have the saying, collective security for surety. With all that we are saying now, and bringing that collectively together to change the mindsets of the parents. And we have to basically start with the leaders in government, leaders in churches, leaders in society, within the social order. Changing that mindset to accept the collectiveness for education to be done in a manner that everyone can benefit, from youth to elders. Because you'll find that we might be blaming the governments, but most of the governments don't have the funds themselves, because they are funded still by their colonizers, and the colonizers would still be dictating to them how these funds must be used, and only target certain communities or so forth, right? So we still have a long way to go to re-educate the educators, and then to re-educate ourselves to accept fullness of education in its entirety.
I thank you guys. I
Correct.
I really thank you guys for coming through. And as we close out, I would like for each person, if it is that there's one thing that you would like everyone that's watching to take away from Africa Day, and the fact that the theme for this year is the year of education, and that's really emphasizing the staggering number of almost 100 million children out of school, children that exist on the continent. What
Well,
would
I
you?
like to say that education is a passport to the world. Without education, we are absolutely nothing because we should also, even me at my age, I'm still learning. I read and I try to learn everything every day. We need to invest in education. As parents, we need to invest in our children's education. We shouldn't wait for the school to always educate our children. So my takeaway is that it's a collective project,
Mhm.
systematic, parent, community, government, everyone needs to work together for the good of our children as far as education is concerned. And for the creative industry, I think that Africa should start implementing programs within the university levels, artist management programs, film production programs. It should start implementing these as serious courses in the curriculum. So to build the industry, because Nollywood is what 500 million billion dollar industry, just like Bollywood, just like Hollywood. So
Mhm.
they need to emphasize and have courses to build up this industry. So that's something that I would like to see happening within the next decade is that the university levels, the college levels start implementing programs that would build the creative industry. I mean, I could go on about resources, bringing in resources, internet and all of that stuff, but that's a different discussion for another day. But thank you, Empress, Dr. Empress Rose. Thank you for having me on this platform. And it was very delightful and educational to me also.
Yes, you're so welcome. I love your input. What? Yes. So yes, how about you, Elder Jubilani?
Yes, well, all I can really say is that education is the key to life. And education is so diverse because life is diverse within itself. And to embrace the diversities that each one can teach one. And where it comes to the art and the free expression, where you will find why the arts and cultural areas will be seriously suppressed is because of the freedom of expression and speech. Because the artist becomes the direct voice of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll find that the artists would be also the educators at the same time, as long as they are not commercialized and put into that manner where they are destroying rather than building. So we need to be collectively working together to make education, to make a better life for all.
Love it, love it. Yes, appreciate that response wholeheartedly. Oh, you guys, I tell you. Well, Joe?
Yeah, I will say education starts with thyself, oneself, which is very important. From the very first day you step on this earth, that's the beginning of your education. I always tell them on radio, education is the key, but we have padlocks on the doors. In the classroom, at the classroom, in the schools, we have padlocks. So the key is money. They are economically making money. So we have to educate ourselves. It shouldn't be just the school, as our mother said. From the house, in the communities, wherever you find yourself. And as I said again, the creative art industry can do more. People's kids watch television, they listen to radio, they listen to news. Let me say, Africa, if we start telling our story, the world will embrace us. Look at Jamaica, they started with reggae music. They were telling their story, their struggles. The world has accepted reggae music. Hip hop, same way. They were telling their story. Now it's Afrobeat, but are we telling our story? The world will accept it when we tell our story. Shouldn't be just fantasy. And the creative industry has the potential to make, create millions of jobs if it's been put on a sound footing. A lot of successful people are from the creative industry. So if any African or whoever is listening, please, let's start to tell our stories and make this world a better place. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys, all the important, responses and factors that you highlighted within there. I'm very big on the cultural and creative industry as well. I think part of growing a dynamic creative economy depends in part on how proactive the countries are in grasping the opportunities and tackling the challenges again, across many areas, such as what technology. As the lady B said, she was referencing, the AU's stance on bringing in, the STEM, and how effective is that when there is another side and there's so many roots, the problem at the root itself as well. So, the labor markets, urbanization, migration, all of that. Well, education contributes to the important continuity, of the disappearing tradition, and that's something that Kojo spoke about. The disappearing traditions, where it is nobody wants to tell their story anymore. Nobody wants to go along that lifeline. They're continuing with what is it that the social media world or all the other world has brought forth. It is also crucial for the creation of sustainable music careers, where technological advancements are interchangeable by the rules of the genre itself. So, per my earlier reference, education is possible in the CCI sectors, and it's not only possible through traditional models and institutions like universities and colleges. Collaborations with artist residences and workshops can go a long way with educating our CCI professionals to become great leaders in the technological, traditional, global world as well. And I think for myself, continuous education in various sectors will help to enhance the CCI. It is an effective tool that can be used to encourage and promote, the vibrant diversity that exists on the continent, the expression that comes in all forms. I thank you guys for being here and being able to tap in, for all the listeners that are, tapped in and listening to, what we have to say in terms of our post-Africa Day. I appreciate you coming through. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out on any one of our social media platforms and we can respond to you in terms of that. I thank you. And if you have a voice as well, we are also would like to hear your comments. You can leave your comments in whichever platform that you're on, and we would greatly appreciate it. I thank you for being here today as well. And I thank all my speakers for chiming in. Of course, so effective. When we put our minds and hearts and everything together, it can be done and it can be achieved. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And thanks for the sharing of mine.
Yes. We appreciate it wholeheartedly. So this is where we sign off and we say, until next time, we will see you guys around. Of course, it is. I will always have music. I will always have the parting music for you guys because that's what we do right here. Enjoy.
Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.
Have a great day, and thanks for chiming in.
Blessed love.
Fail me now. My feet don't fail me now. I know you won't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jaja won't fail me now. Holy Spirit won't fail me now. And me say China, you been give me ground fall down. I'm born Vatican, no marching all round. Them a go remember Jericho when we start show. Them still no hear the emperor. All know from them go friend, we and them follow. Oh, we so blessed that them want out. A little bit from this, them in a sorrow. Cause them want round that on sad, no man go marrow. Wear me out on my sleeve, that's why my time my mind. See them I get brazen, so my draw the line. No want to seek, judge them think he might find. Cause them don't want to centralize and organize. But a full time forget the youth, them realize. Often work for when you want, everything take time. Missing enough take shortcut and don't. Still I met righteousness, I put a day or night. Feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Holy Spirit won't fail me now. I know Jaja won't fail me now. I beg your feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jaja won't fail me now. I know he won't fail me now. Them African, so we chant more prayer like them never remember. So we are demon slayer. Day for you, but a tomorrow for we. And me hear them attack, I say, God no real. Like me can't believe I want me live to see. Everything I fulfill in a prophecy. Them gone in at the school with them side of me. While them a raise up them salary. Them stuck in at the dark, can't find them way out. And them full of ego, can't swallow them pride. Still I tell them feel Rastafari. I red, gold and green, my flag fly. Want for pollute the youth, them and no want nobody for down. Everything I come to light, we in the dark. So tell every ghetto youth, say we ready for spark. And if we feed don't fail, we willing for one. And feed don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Oh, no. I beg you, don't fail me now. Oh, no. Don't fail me now. Jah won't fail me now. Holy Spirit don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jah, don't fail me now. Jah, don't fail me now. Emperor, don't fail me now. Don't fail me now.
ብርሃን ከበራላችሁ በኋላ መከራ በሆነበት በትልቅ ተጋድሎ የጸናችሁበትን የቀደመውን ዘመን አስቡ። የሐዋርያው የቅዱስ ጳውሎስ መልእክት ወደ ዕብራውያን ሰዎች ምዕራፍ 10
Rise up, African youth, man. Rise up and take over your land. Come on with a good plan. Cause the old man, them just a thief, man.
Jeunesse africaine, ce message est pour toi. Écoute-le, car nous n'avons pas le droit de faire les mêmes erreurs que nos grands frères.
Rise up, African youth, man. Rise up and take over your land. Come on with a good plan. Cause the old man, them just a thief, man. Rise up, African youth, man. Rise up and take over your land. Come on with a good plan. Cause the old man, them just a thief, man. Oba, tout ça c'est oba. 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 Chase the whole leader them. No for them are just a thief, man. chase the whole leader them. No for them are just a greedy man. Chase the whole leader them. No for them a sell we all. Chase the whole leader them. From the north, east, west to the south. I see them coming, see them shooting. Innocent people, just see them looting. People are dying, what a confusion. Come on and rise up a youth man. Come on and dash your lightning. Come on and dash your thunder. Come on and chase away the wicked man. Oba, oba, tous ça c'est oba, oba. Oba, oba, tous ça c'est oba, oba. Oba, oba, tout ça c'est oba, oba. Oba, oba, tout ça c'est oba, oba.
Non, amolo di nyoma. Kamonu nukele. Na manjandwa yerela. Umeganga na folosonya. Nanu mamolo di nyoma. Uberanga na folosonya. Uberanga na folosonya. Katana yena. Na manjandwa yerela. Uberanga na folosonya. Na mamolo di nyoma. Uberanga na folosonya. Manjandwa yerela. Uberanga na folosonya. Na manjandwa yerela. Uberanga na folosonya.
Rise up, African youth man. Rise up and take over your land. Come on with a good plan. Cause the old man, them just a thief man. Rise up, African youth man. Rise up and take over your land. Come on with a good plan. Cause the old man, them just a thief man. Oba, oba, tout ça c'est oba, oba. 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 Rise up, African youth man. Rise. Oh! Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Jah shall deliver him from all of them. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it, and them is safe. Sing! And I know I must not be sorrowing and mourning, 'cause many did go to bed last night, and before the morning, the dust them bite. I cried, I had no shoes. until a man with no legs came to borrow my farm tools. In all things give thanks unto the name of the Most High, and be relieved with a gentle sigh. Aile, 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 unto your name we speak, aile. Sure. Aile, aile, aile. Aile, aile, aile. Sure. Aile, aile, aile. ISIS, I still remember how my enemies dug for me a deadly pit, and by your mighty hand you delivered me with a lift. The broken parts you love to bring together in a perfect fix. In the shadow of the Almighty, how can I ever be in a fix? They marked me for death, but like the Passover, you gave me a new breath. Aile, aile, aile. Unto your name we speak, aile. Jaja, Naya Bing. Sure. Aile, aile, aile. Aile, aile, aile. Aile, aile, aile.
ከበራላችሁ በኋላ መከራ በሆነበት በትልቅ ተጋድሎ የጸናችሁበትን የቀደመውን ዘመን አስቡ። የሐዋርያው የቅዱስ ጳውሎስ መልእክት ወደ ዕብራውያን ሰዎች ምዕራፍ 10
Please don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. My feet don't fail me now. I know you won't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Judge, I won't fail me now. Holy Spirit won't fail me now. I'm Mr. China, you been give me crumb fall down. I'm born Vatican, no marching all round. Them a go remember Jericho when we start show. Them still no hear the emperor. All know from them go friend, we and them follow. Oh, we so blessed that them want out. And little bit from this, them in a sorrow. Cause them want round that on sad, no man go marrow. Wear me out on my sleeve, that's why my time my mind. See them a get brazen, so my journal line. The one for seek, that them think he might find. Cause them don't want to centralize and organize. But a full time forget the youth, them realize. Often work for when you want, everything take time. Missing enough take shortcut and don't. Still I met righteousness, I put a day or night. My feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Holy Spirit won't fail me now. I know Judge, I won't fail me now. I beg your feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jah won't fail me now. I know He won't fail me now. Them African, so we chant more prayer like them never remember. So we a demon slayer. Today for you, but a tomorrow for we. And me hear them attack, I say God no real. Like me can't believe I want me live to see everything I fulfilling a prophecy. Them gone in at the school with them side of me. While them a raise up them salary, them stuck in at the dark, can't find them way out. And them full of ego, can't swallow them pride. Still I tell them feel Rastafari. I red, gold and green, my flag fly. One for pollute the youth, them and no want nobody for down. Everything I come to light, we in the down. Don't tell every ghetto youth, say we ready for spark. And if we feet don't feel, we willing for one. And feet don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. I beg you, don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jah won't fail me now. Holy Spirit, don't fail me now. Don't fail me now. Jah, don't fail me now.